Hello, everyone. It's your girl Karaleise. How you guys doing? How you guys doing? I'm here to talk to you about more business analysis things. And today I have a very exciting presentation for you. I want to talk to you about landing a six-figure job as a business analyst. All right. We know that there's a lot of people out there in the job hunt and that finding a job has been quite challenging. But, if you're in the US, we have differences of opinions right now. So there might be opportunities for more jobs or there might be opportunities for creating your own job. So we're going to be looking today at how to really think about the job market and how to try to get to land a six-figure job as a business analyst. So let's get started. So let's look at the basics, right? So to be a BA, you need to really dominate these basic things for you to be able to really excel in the interview. You definitely want to be able to have a good communication style, meaning that you're speaking the right terms, you are using the jargons that we're used to, and you just sound like a BA. You sound like somebody that they can trust with their stakeholders. You sound like somebody that they can put in front of clients. So you want to really have good communication so you can convey that to your interviewers. I have a video that talks about how to talk like a business analyst, and I think that would be a good one for you to watch just to get a gist of what it is that we expect you to sound like, right? And also, when you look at the job description, you can see the types of terms that they use in the job description and see if you can mirror that when you're talking back to them in the interview. The other thing is your documentation skills. So they're going to want to know that you have good documentation skills. Now, you don't have to actually write documents and go to the interview with all this document to show them. You don't have to show it, but you have to be able to talk about it. You have to know it well enough to know what it contains. You have to know the sections of the documents that you create. You have to know what are the actual documents that a BA does produce. Again, I have videos on this, so you can find a video that's called What Documents Do BA Produce, right? And you can watch that video, give you an example. And also you can find a lot of these articles also on my blog. It's karaleise.com. You can find lots of documents there and examples there to download for free as well. They're going to want to know that you have good elicitation skills as well. So how are you able to draw out the real requirements from the projects that you're working on, right? How do you make sure that you know exactly what needs to be built? One of the things that they have to be able to do is to trust you as a BA, to trust that you're going to have the skills to decipher what is needed and not just do what you're told, right? So sometimes they want you to challenge them a little bit to make sure they are thinking about it the right way. They do not want a BA that's going to be a yes man. They want a BA who's analytical, who's thinking about it, who has the best interest for the users at heart, best interest for the department, whatever you're building the project for, that you can really just put yourself in that person's shoes who's going to use it and really ask critical questions so that we don't make detrimental mistakes. So how are you able to elicit these requirements? What techniques are you using? And when do you use those techniques? Again, I have lots of videos on eliciting requirements and the techniques that you should use. Now, Agile and Waterfall are going to be very important as well. You're not going to get away with an interview without really understanding the paradigm of Agile and also Waterfall. Waterfall seems to be the default, right? Since that what we've been doing for many, many years, decades even, is just in a linear way running the project. So when one phase ends, the other one starts, and that's how we do it. Then we were disrupted with Agile, which says, okay, we don't have to wait until all of this phase is done before we can start the next phase. We're kind of going to do these things in parallel, and we'll have a whole method to do these in an iterative way so we can get to the final outcome, which is a working software, faster, right? With much more clarity and make sure that what we deliver actually meets the needs of the stakeholders. So this Agile manifesto was created back in 2001. And since then, we've really had a lot of adoption of Agile methodologies. There are many of them, the most famous being Agile Scrum and Agile Kanban. So you have to be very familiar with that. I have tons of video on Agile, from the daily scrum to the sprint retrospective to the sprint planning to everything that we do with Agile, the backlog refinement. I have everything here on this channel. So you can just go in and see some of my videos. You learn a lot. But you really need to be aware of how Agile works and what you are doing as the BA in an Agile environment. You're not a developer. You're not an architect. You're not a PO. Although sometimes you can, cross paths with the PO and kind of do some of what they do. But you are a BA. And that's the job you're going up for. So you have to be very, very knowledgeable, right? Very confident in what it is that you're doing at each phase of the software development life cycle in an Agile environment. So go check out the other videos that go into details on this. You have lots of free resources at your disposal. Now, BA tools. They want to know that you know the tools, right? Again, I have a video on this about the tools that you use. But the good thing is that there aren't a lot of tools that are specialized to the BA role, right? So if you are familiar with Microsoft products, really it's just Excel, PowerPoint, and Word. You're halfway there. Again, if you're in Agile, you'll be using a lot of Jira, or maybe you're doing Azure DevOps. That's fine. If you need to draw, process flow diagrams, you can use Lucidchart, you can use Miraboard, you can use Visio. There's so many tools, right? So in that video, I go through those common tools that we use in the field and give you tips on how to use them. Some of them are free, so you can go ahead and practice. And if you are a member of the Back Office Club, you get access to these tools as well. So at the Back Office Club, we have weekly stand-ups, we have weekly trainings, but we also have access to the tools. So you can go check that out at backofficeclub.org, not .com, backofficeclub.org, all right? Now, conceptualizing solutions. So they want a BA who can really think about the future. What does the future state look like when we solve this problem? They want you to really, in detail, think about the future and be able to articulate that to the team and try to get buy-in, try to get alignment on this. So you need to be able to conceptualize what's not even there yet. You have to think about what are the things that we should have more than what we have. It's easy to see the problem, but what should be the solution, and then be able to discuss that with the team, refine that, come up with the better solution from everybody else, put it together, and get alignment from leadership on that, okay? So these are the 6 things I think that are basic that you have to kind of know if you want to be a 6-figure BA, right? They're not going to give you 6 figures and then hold your hands, okay? Let's just be real. When they give you 6 figures, they want you to be leadership. They want you to be strategic. You have to move away from being task focused to being strategic focused. How are you going to help move the team into the right direction? Okay. You are middle management at this point. So that's why the salary comes with it, because it's a lot of responsibility and you're going to be owning a lot of things on your own. And don't be afraid to make a mistake. You just have to give it your best shot. Nobody has the answer and waiting to see if you're going to get the answer too, right? Nobody has the answer. Everybody's just working towards the best outcome that they could possibly have. And as issues come up and we have failures and glitches, we resolve them and keep moving forward. Okay, that's how it works. So these are the basic skills that you need to have to really land a 6-figure job as a business analyst. Okay. Now, once you have dominated these skills and you're now ready to go out there in the working world, the first thing is that you have to be findable. People are, I've done a lot of consults, and sometimes I'm very surprised at the things that end up in a consultation with me. For example, somebody will send me their resume ahead of the consultation. So they purchased the Business Analyst Interview Success Blueprint consult. It's a very popular consult. And in that consult, I go through your resume with you to make sure you're saying the right things as a business analyst, to make sure that you are positioning yourself best as a BA. And then I walk you through your strategy based on your background, your education, the things that's unique to you. I give you my best assessment of what should be your next steps in trying to land the job. I go through what I think that you must know, where you're weak, where you need to brush up on to be able to do well in the interview. I give you tips on how to talk to recruiters. I also give you tips on how to assess the job. So sometimes people come to me with a job that they already have started down the road to get, that they have like one more interview to do, or they have an interview lined up. And so I help them to know, what does this particular job want from you? How can you know before you go in the interview what to say to really land this job based on what I see on the job description? I teach people how to read the job descriptions properly and to do what I call a job analysis. And then I go through the thing that people are always stuck on, the thing that frightens you the most. Do you know what that is? That is the situational questions. Tell me about a time when. Everybody that comes to me is always like, oh my God, I get so scared on those questions, because some people have never worked in the field. Some people don't have any experience at all. And yet they're asked to give an example of a time when they did something and they don't know what to say because they don't have any experience. And I help them to be truthful. Imagine that, to be truthful in an interview. I help them to be truthful, but at the same time, give the right responses that will impress the interviewers. Even when you don't have any experience, there are ways to do this. Okay. And that's what I teach people in my consult. And I have all 5-star reviews on Google. You can go check it out on karaleise.com. I've been very successful with that. But I say that to say that you have to be findable. So the first thing is, when people come to me with their resume and the resume is not findable, meaning the resume has nothing on it that you'd associate to a business analyst. They have, let's say I have somebody coming in from customer service. Everything on the resume is customer service. Customer services, talking to customers, doing this customer. Everywhere is customer. It never says anything about you being a BA. So how you want to use that resume to get a BA job? A 6-figure BA job at that. It's not going to work. You're in la la land. So you got to come back to reality. Okay. You have to update your resume. I didn't say lie on your resume. I didn't say embellish the resume. I didn't say make up stuff that never happened on the resume. I said tweak the resume. I think that's what I should have said if I haven't said it. But tweak your resume, meaning if you've worked in customer service, for example, you're going to pull out all the things that you did that are relevant to the BA role. Pull out everything that you did that is aligning to a BA. Okay, it doesn't mean that you have to put everything you've ever done, but what are some of the things there? Maybe you did reporting, maybe you were liaison with the stakeholders, whatever you've done. Pull those things out and transpose the words that you use in your colloquial layman terms into the BA terms. Don't say customers, say stakeholders. Don't say your manager, say the leadership. Don't say, documentation, don't say, document or paper, say documentation, say reports. They're just some simple words you can switch out, and it's the same thing you did, but it just sounds more business analyst friendly, okay? That's fine. Add skills that are relatable to the field, and make sure that those skills can be found. So you need to make yourself findable by having a good resume that speaks to you as a BA, right? And then, you can apply to the jobs that you want. Don't disqualify yourself. Don't say, oh, I don't have 10 years of experience, I can apply. Apply. Okay, apply. Okay. Let's not be deterred by years of experience, because we all had to solve this problem. Everybody who ever started didn't have experience, but were asked to have experience. So it's like chicken and egg. You just need to start. Somebody needs to take a gamble on you. Somebody needs to see the potential in you. And sometimes if you're not in the room, they don't see the potential because you never showed up. And you never showed up because you disqualified yourself before you even applied. And some people are looking at LinkedIn and saying, oh, there's 500 applications already. Like, why should I even apply? Not realizing that 500 people could have applied who have nothing to do with the business analysis role. And all of those applications went into the garbage. But if you had applied, you might have been the only one that qualified and they would have called you. So people are disqualifying themselves for a lot of silly reasons, and I caution you not to do that. Make your resume findable. Update your LinkedIn. People say that they have other ways to get jobs outside of LinkedIn. That's fine. But I've just found LinkedIn to be the source. This is the number one source for employers to find potential employees. This is the place, this is the professional network that we all are using. So, I've seen people come to me and say, I don't want to put my face up there on LinkedIn because I don't want my coworkers to know that I'm looking for a job. I don't want people in other companies I've worked for to find me. So I put some random name that they can't find. Who are you hiding from? Why is it more important for you to hide from a few people who don't even care about you than to be found by the people looking to pay you six figures? Like, why is that so important for you to hide yourself? Some people don't want to put a picture up. Don't want to put a picture, don't want to be seen, don't want to be known, don't want to be found. I'm always suspicious of people who are so secretive that even when it benefits them, they don't want to put themselves out there. I'm always suspicious of people who will watch everything I post and never like a post. I have people on my Facebook, people like us still use Facebook, okay? I'm old school. I have people on my Facebook, friends, that will tell me, hey, I saw you posted this, I saw you posted that, but they never like the post. You never knew that. Like, they'll tell me in person, but they never actually like the post. So I always say to myself, that's interesting. Not to say they have to like the post, but like, people are just really secretive. I'm just not that secretive, to be honest with you. And if it means I can get paid six figures, I would rather what? Please a few people. They're going to see me and what's going to happen? They're going to say, oh my God, I can't believe she's looking for a job. Or they're going to say, oh my God, I can't believe she put it on her LinkedIn. I mean, what is the worst that can happen? You know what I'm saying? I don't know if your bosses are stalking you on LinkedIn. Maybe they are, but who cares? You're trying to leave them. You're trying to go to a different place. So who cares? So I will just say, for people who are so concerned about putting a photo of yourself up, then you probably shouldn't be looking for a job because they're going to see you. Newsflash, you're going to have to show up for the interview and they're going to see you. So unless you're running some scam where you don't want them to know, what you look like, then, that's not going to work, right? Some people can get jobs without having a photo on their LinkedIn, maybe, but that's kind of a red flag in the hiring world. Like, if I don't see your face, I can't see where you go to school, I don't see a real name. Are you a real person? Why should I spend time to call you and to check you out when you don't even put enough effort in your own profile, when there's somebody else over here who I can see them clearly, I can see what it is that I'm getting, and there's a list of details about where they've worked and all that. So let me go with that person. So I would encourage you to really rethink your approach to LinkedIn if you're hiding your face and putting a fake name and I don't know who you're hiding from, but is it worth missing out on opportunities to get a six-figure job? You have to answer that question for yourself. So once you put up your profile information properly on LinkedIn, and if you want to use other platforms like Indeed, Glassdoor, it's fine, but I just find LinkedIn to be the most popular. Then you need to make sure you're applying for jobs, because you're not going to get a job land on your desk like a fairy, okay? Some people can be that lucky. Personally, I've been approached by interviewers. I've been approached by recruiters. People have approached me to give me roles, right? And some of them I've turned down. And that happens too. Like, if you're findable, anything can happen. People can find you and they can message you and they can offer you roles, and you never know, right? But if you're not findable, that's the first problem to solve. But also, you need to get out there and, kind of be in the mix. Don't sit back and wait for recruiters to find you. You still have to go out there and chase and try to find the employers. And I'm sure a lot of you are already doing that. So I don't have to be this dead horse here, but it's important to do that, okay? Now, the next thing is obviously you need to optimize your search. So one of the problems that people have is that they search for business analyst jobs and they find some, but they get easily discouraged. Because some of the jobs, when they read the job description, it's like, I can't do this, I can't do that, I can't do that. Oh my God, I'm not a BA. I feel so overwhelmed. Or they might say a number of things on the job description: need to learn SQL, need to have this tool or that tool, or Tableau, and all of these data analytics tool and all of these other DevOps tool. And you're like, oh my goodness. I got to go back to school to learn all this stuff to get a BA job, and now you're frustrated and you feel like you're just ill-equipped, and you just give up. You just been literally turned off, and you're like, how do I get started? Do I have to go learn everything again? It's like a whole thing. The search of the job will return results. Okay, it will return results. I've never searched for a BA job and not gotten results. But you have to go through each of the jobs and see which one of them is actually a BA job and which one of them is just somebody calling it BA. It's nothing to do with the BA. It's very confusing. I have often spoke out about this, that the employers don't know what a BA does. And so they're putting up jobs up there on LinkedIn that when I read it, I'm like, how do you call this a BA? This is nothing to do with business analysis. And, I always say the IIBA can help us here. If you are listening to this IIBA. So I don't know what happened there. I think I lost my audio. I was just saying I think the IIBA could help us because they're an organization that represent business analysts, and we definitely need some help to the employers to know what a BA does. And so I think IIBA could be a good instrument to help bring about this change. And so I often call out to them. So if you're a part of the IIBA, what can you do to help us so employers know what a BA does and we can have better jobs being posted with the business analyst title? All right. Okay. Find jobs that have easier, not easier, but tasks that are more aligned to what you have experience in, whether it's your industry or just tasks are more doable in your opinion. Just keep going. You'll find one that can match you. Also, add to the BA body of knowledge. Which what do I mean by this? I mean you do need to add to the body of knowledge somehow. You can, share a post about a BA topic. You can, like something that somebody else has written. You can create, maybe you have a cheat sheet that you use, you can share that. Maybe you've created a presentation for a case study, you can share that. Add to our knowledge base somehow. And what that does, it helps you to have more business analyst topics around your profile. And so when somebody looks at your profile, they can see that you not only have business analysis as in your job title or what you're searching for a job for, but you also have articles and you have shares and you have topics that you cover, so that they can see that you're really invested in the career. Like it doesn't take that much to do that, add to the knowledge somehow. All right. Reach out to recruiters. A lot of times we tend to want to sit back and wait for them to get to us. But you can find the recruiters on LinkedIn and reach out to them, let them know that you're open for a job and this is the area you're looking for. I'm sure they have a lot of people reaching out to them because there's so many people in the job market. But you never know. Maybe your message could be the one that pops up. They open it at the right time and it's just the right fit for what they have. So you never know. Okay. Don't discourage yourself because you think everybody's doing it. You can go ahead and do it too. Add yourself to the list of people who are doing it. All right. Identify companies with their own recruiters. I've just found in my personal experience that companies that have their own HR department and their own recruiters, the process goes faster and I get much better results with that. I don't know if it's something with the other companies who their sole mission is to find talent for another company. They're the middleman. The middleman companies, I don't know if it's that extra layer of bureaucracy, but it just takes longer and the interviews don't always go well. And when I say don't go well, I mean I do well in the interviews, but it just doesn't, they don't always follow up and then they disappear and they ghost you and all that stuff. So I just haven't had a lot of personal luck with these third party companies that are recruiting on behalf of other companies. And I'd much rather go directly to the company. So just as a recap of the shortcut, you have to research the business analyst topics. You have to be very familiar with how we work in the field. The good thing for you is that you have my entire catalog of videos and all this information that you wouldn't otherwise get access to that will help you to talk about these things in the interview and be able to be more impressive to your interviewers. You also need to reach out to your network, reach out to, you know, other recruiters, try to get any information that you can about jobs out there outside of just waiting for the recruiters to find you or for the job to be posted so that you can have your best chance of landing a new BA role. Also, add social proof to your profile. Share articles. I have a ton of articles on Karaleise.com. There's a lot of articles on Modern Analyst. There's so many other business analyst groups out there that you can find. Share something from somebody about the field, right? So you can have these things around your social media because unfortunately for you, they're going to check your LinkedIn. What are they going to find? Okay, give them something to find, all right? Recommend. So try to get recommendations. It means, if you can get people to recommend you on your LinkedIn, that would be great. A good way to get this is if you're leaving the company or if you're leaving a project, or unfortunately, if you got laid off, then it's a great time to kind of get recommendations from people. You don't want people's sympathy and, oh, I'm so sorry to hear. Okay, fine. But can you leave me a recommendation on LinkedIn? It's a great time to ask for it. Find ways to stand out in interviews, but be honest. So I posted a video on my YouTube shorts that said, don't lie on your resume. And oh my God, I got so many negative comments. I was so surprised that people were so committed to lying. And they were all in there like, lie, lie, lie. You have to lie. You have to lie on your resume to get the job. And don't worry about these employers because they're lying to you about the job too. They tell you how you're going to have a wonderful job, and next thing you go there, and it's a toxic environment. So they're lying too. So you have to lie. You have to lie, 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 lie. Be a liar. Lie is the only way you're going to get through. Go ahead and lie. I was so surprised at the number of people that just did not agree with me. Nobody thinks it's a good thing to tell the truth anymore. Nobody thinks you're going to get the job if you tell the truth. Nobody thinks that you can be honest. So the whole interview is just a dance. It's like smoke and mirrors. Everybody's coming in, being as fake as they can be. And it's like court. When you go to court, you expect everybody to come in lying. So now when you go to interviews, you expect everybody in front of you to be a liar. And that's why it's so hard to get a job because there's so much garbage that interviewers have to wade through. And nobody wants to be a person of integrity anymore. Everybody just wants the shortcut, the easy thing. Nobody wants to do the right thing, which may not be easy. So I don't know. I'm old school. So I'm going to teach you the right way because truth carries its own energy, and it's a good energy, and it resonates and it lasts. The lies and being fake is only for a short time. So I really stand on truth, and I think that you can talk the truth about your actual career and still get the job. I think there are many things that you can pull out of your actual experience that can be transferable, and you can still get the job. And I also think that nobody's born a BA. Nobody's born and this is the only career they've ever had. All of us stumbled into this career almost, and we work in the field and we learn and we grow, right? So you're not supposed to just have been a BA all your life. You could have done something else and transition. So you can get a job even though you admit that you were doing something else before you became a BA. So I have not, in my lived experience, had to lie to get a job. And that's why I know it works. You can tell the truth and get a job. Even when I got my first job as a BA, I did not have to lie and pretend I was a BA forever to get it. I came from a different background and that was okay with my employers at the time. So it's not that bad, all right? I encourage you to have morals and have principles and do the right thing. And I'm definitely here to help you. The people who are looking for the jobs are saying we are going to lie our asses off and get the job. We do not care. That's what they're saying. And I was like, oh my God. Like you could probably do that with other careers. But the problem is with the business analyst role, if you're a great liar and you actually get hired, now you actually have to do what you lied about. And people have the impression that we're going to just go on the job and learn. Of course, we just go in there and we learn. Everybody has to learn. That is true. But when you lie to become a senior BA, there isn't a lot of room for learning because they expect you to come with, the analytical ability. They don't expect you to be like a entry level in a leadership role. So it's a little bit harder to wing it, is what I'm saying. So it doesn't mean that you can't get started as a BA. You obviously can, but the extra lying that people do in these interviews And then when they get the job and they're to do what they lied about, they can't do it. You get let go for that because nobody's going to keep paying you six figures and you are delivering like you are an entry level person. It's just not going to fly. So I say be honest. What I mean is a lot of you are working as BAs, but you don't have the title. You're working in customer service, you're working in billing, you're working in project coordinator, you're working in admin. You're doing tasks like you're creating reports, you're helping to troubleshoot, you're helping to come up with new processes, you're helping to, find out what is the best requirement, even though you don't call it requirement. You're doing it already. So it's not fair to not be able to claim it because you didn't know that there was a career called business analyst. Okay. So when I say don't lie, you can be honest, is that you can pull out of your actual experience and the jobs you've actually done, the things in that job that relate to the BA role, the transferable skills, the communication, the analytical ability, the multitasking, the reporting, the writing, all these things that you have been doing. You can tweak them, you can reword them, and you can use them when you're honest. You don't have to make up a whole fake story because a lot of the things you've been doing already, the things that you haven't done. In my consults, I talk about how do you talk about things that you haven't actually done without having to lie. I also teach that in the consult. So there's that. But you don't have to become a liar the way they're saying. If you look at that video and you look at the comment, oh my God, they kill me over there. They are killing me. Now, do what you got to do to get the job. I'm not saying don't do what you have to do. Do what you have to do, okay? But I'm just saying that you have a lot of power and truth has its own energy that will exude when you go in that interview, right? And when you've studied and you have the confidence and you've practiced and you've learned from others and you just feel like you can do it. You just need somebody to give you the opportunity to do what you know you can do, right? Then it's going to come out of you as truth because you've spent the time, you've spent the money, that's for sure. You've invested in yourself and your career. I know you just want to get that first break so you can explore the full extent of your career with all the knowledge you already have. Okay. So I'm just saying that you can use your existing experience and you can still be truthful to that and you can still get the job if you have the right skills to know how to package it in the business analyst frame. Now, let's talk about your interview strategy. You really need to have very good, purposeful storytelling. Purposeful storytelling. Well, that means that you're not just talking about anything, right? You're not just giving random stories. Okay. You're very purposeful. You're making sure the stories you're telling show you in the light you want to be seen in and are relating to the job that you're going up for. So you tell stories that they want to hear based on what they expect you to be doing in the job that they've told you already from the job description. What I find is that most BAs, they fail with the stories they tell is too vague. Too vague, it's missing details. Or they go the opposite end where they give too much details and too much, they're in the deep and if you're not working with on that project or with that company, you don't know what they're talking about. So now you have to ask a lot of follow-up questions. So whenever you see you give a story and the interviewers are asking a lot of questions behind it, they're just trying to drill down to see if you know what you're talking about. But also maybe the story wasn't complete enough. So they have to ask you additional questions to get the full story, which is bad. They can ask questions for sure, but you want to make sure you tell a thorough story that's not at too much of a high level, but not too detailed either, because you don't want to get bogged down in the details. All right. Now, BA skills dominance, you have to dominate the skills of a BA. You have to show expertise in our elicitation techniques, in documentation styles, in communication, all the different things that we do. You need to show that you're good at that in the interviews. And of course, you need to be presentable, have a good presentation style, and show your charisma and your personality. All right. And with presentation, these are some simple things that I see BAs make mistakes on in the interviews. I'm like, why? You know, as an interviewer, I can excuse some of them because I understand, having talked to so many people who are in the job market, I know exactly some of the challenges that you face. So, some things I'll be lenient on. There's some things like, why? Like, other people are not going to be this lenient. Like, for example, you go into the interview, right? And you choose to sit in a space where there's a window behind you. So then you don't have good lighting. because of the window behind you, now your face is darker and we can't see your face properly. So we lose opportunity to really connect to you because you're not there physically, right? You're doing a virtual interview. So we don't get to see your face properly and get a sense of your personality and, just kind of have your face imprinted in our minds and, have sticking power. You know what I'm saying? If we can't see your face clearly, you can be forgettable. It's weird. Like, why would somebody do that to themselves? You're going for an interview, you didn't even think about the positioning of where your desk is going to be and how the lighting is going to be. You don't check that before you go for the interview? Are you crazy? Other thing I see people do is like, even when they do have good lighting and you can see their face, the angles at which they have the computer is not their best angle. Like, simple things like that, right? For example, you see somebody and you can see from their head to the tip of their shoulders. And the rest of the screen is filled with empty air from the top of their head to the roof of their room. They're not even present enough to realize that they're not taking up enough space on the screen. Why you don't want to take up space, I don't know. You want to be front and center. You want to get their attention. So when they're looking at you and they're only seeing like your head and a little tip of your shoulder, and the rest of it is just, the rest of your room or wherever you're sitting, it's a waste. It's a big waste. Sit right. Fix the angle of your camera. Make sure you have good lighting. Make sure we can see you from your head down to maybe a mid torso or something. Like, just be present. A part of the presentation skills is being able to look like you're presenting. Okay. But little things like that, I don't know why we make these mistakes, but now you know, and those things won't happen to you again because I've just told you, right? And also just have charisma, have charm, be kind, be smiling, be pleasant. Likability is important. They have to like you. So when they like you, you get a better opportunity to get the job, okay? Now, your background does not matter. And it's surprising that people think that it's only one type of background that's getting discriminated against. It's not. I know, for people in the US where I am, it's a big thing right now with all the changes that has happened in the US and people feel all kinds of ways about it. But I will tell you that over the years I've lived here and I've worked in many different companies, small companies, large companies. I've had a chance to work in smaller groups. I've worked with larger organizations. I've worked with people across different parts of the US and even into Canada. I don't think it matters. What you think matters doesn't matter. You think that they're going to discriminate against you because you're black doesn't matter. Not true. You think that because you're Muslim or you're some other religion, not Christian, you're Sikh or you're Hindu or whatever, you're going to get discriminated against. It doesn't matter. Listen to the words I'm saying. Listen to the words coming out of my mouth. It does not matter. Okay? No matter what you hear in the public space and all the talk about racism and all the stuff, in the work world of a business analyst, it does not matter. Even white people. See this white guy over here, all American guy, you think he doesn't get discriminated against? I live in the South. And in the South, and I live in Georgia and other places like North Carolina, South Carolina, there's a drawl. They have a different sound when they speak. And I've heard people from up north that have the more traditional, the more known, American accent. I've heard them say things about people who live in the South and their drawl that's not very kind. So in a way, they get discriminated against too. Not just I'm saying that people have all kinds of things that you think might be against them, but when it comes to the working world, the world of projects and software development, it's kind of a safe space. Okay, as long as you show up and you're doing the right job and you know how to speak and you have the qualifications and you know what you're talking about, you will get a chance to get the job. The best mind will win most of the time. I mean, a few bad ones get in, but the best mind typically gets in. And I don't find that the work world is that focused on the things that are outside of work, like in the public sphere. In the work world, we're just working towards one singular goal. And because we're so focused on this goal, we don't really spend any time on politics and cultures and all this stuff. Most of it is not relevant to what we're doing. And I have not had any experiences where I feel like this has been a factor. And I've worked with, again, so many different types of companies and small and large and banks and customer service and sales and all kinds of stuff. So it doesn't matter. I really believe it doesn't matter. In this small space of software development, it does not matter. As a matter of fact, you might be surprised that they might seek you out because you're an immigrant. The immigrants that came before you have left a good trail ahead of you. And sometimes they seek you out. So, I've met people who are refusing to put where they're from on their resume or the country that they did their education in because they don't want to be discriminated against. I've met people who don't want to put their picture on their LinkedIn because they don't want to be discriminated against. And I'm like, no, because guess what? Sometimes it's a picture and it's your country that helps you. Sometimes it helps you. Give you an example. I'm working with so many people from India in my software projects who are physically in India and also Indian immigrants who are here. And everybody knows when you want to get a good developer, an Indian who comes in is probably going to be good. The Indians who came before you have left a good trail for you coming up. So it might help you. I've met so many Africans from Nigeria, from Ghana, from Kenya. And especially the ones from Nigeria tend to want to not put Nigeria on their resume because they think that people are gonna discriminate against them and I don't know what's going on in the country of Nigeria. I'm sure there's a lot of things going on there. But when you come over here, baby, people who work with Nigerians love you. All right, so let's get over to LinkedIn and let's look at what the business analyst jobs are looking like over there. Let's go. Okay, here we are in LinkedIn. And by the way, guys, if you're not following me on LinkedIn, go look for Karaleise Business Analyst Training. You will see my logo and just go right ahead and follow me over there on LinkedIn. Okay, so now we're looking at jobs. So I've searched for business analyst, and these are the jobs that it's showing. And so we're looking at this first one here. This one is between 85K to 110K. Yeah, you're making a six figure. You definitely don't want to be on the lower end of this. And it just says business analyst, right? It already has over 100 applicants. But as you know, don't be deterred by the number of applicants because these could be people who actually are not even qualified, right? So anybody can apply and that adds to the number. It doesn't mean that they're actually quality candidates, okay? So here you have Meet the Hiring Team, and this is where you definitely want to reach out to them directly as well. So let's look at what this job is about. So it is on site for 4 days a week. Mm, kind of tough. It's a direct hire, which is good. It's to 110. They definitely want the business analyst skills. So they're mentioning documentation, requirements, let's say gathering requirements. I hate that term. I don't think we gather anything. We elicit, we draw out. We don't have requirements lying around like apples and oranges to go pick up. So I really hate this term gathering, but we always see it being used in the job descriptions. All right. SQL, they want SQL over here. So you need to have some experience with SQL. Working with cross-functional teams, UAT, automation, solutions, MS Office. So these are all basic business analyst stuff. So nothing alarming here. And they say that they want you to engage with the business team at various locations, design test cases. That's okay. Identify, document, and resolve system reporting or procedural inefficiencies. Define critical project tasks and assess feasibility. Support portfolio managers and performance management groups. Develop and manage project plans. Uh-oh. Hey, we're getting into some other stuff right here. We don't really manage project plans. We're not project managers. Okay. So they're stretching it a bit. Okay. Create user manuals. All right. I mean, this is a little bit more into the technical writer role, but okay. And lead training sessions. That's kind of okay. Assist in drafting technical requirements and functional business specifications. That's fine. Work closely with business and technical teams to evaluate current processes and define future state processes. Perfect. Document process workflows and system functionalities using industry standard methodologies, including flowcharts, swim lane diagrams, and entity relationship diagrams. That's okay too. Provide frontline support to business users during project implementation and ongoing deployment support. That's fine. So what do they want for this job here? 5+ years of hands-on experience with financial or trading systems in a technical or operational capacity. If you don't have 5+ years of experience, ignore this requirement. This is a wish list, okay? Because, with 5+ years of hands-on experience in financial or trading systems, you really ought to pay somebody more than what you're trying to pay them. So this is ridiculous, right? So you want to apply for this job, you have everything else here, but you don't have the 5 years, go right ahead, no problem. Proven ability to analyze, implement, and support enterprise reporting technologies. Okay. Strong project management experience with ability to contribute as both an individual and a team leader. hmm Also, you can ignore that. Just go right ahead and apply. Ability to build and maintain effective relationships with diverse business teams in a problem solving environment. Okay, that's fine. Familiarity with structured project management methodologies and best practices. Okay. Familiarity, which means if you're not familiar, get familiar and apply. Familiarity doesn't mean expertise. It doesn't mean that you have to have been doing this forever. You can go look at a YouTube video and there you have it. You're familiar. Okay. Practice one or two things and you're good. SQL. All right. So you don't have to be an expert in SQL either. You just need to know how the database is structured. You need to understand how to pull tables together. You need to understand how to write a where clause, and you should be good. Okay. Everything else you're going to have to learn on the job. They have to teach you how their schema is. They have to teach you, how to find the stuff that you're looking for. So there'll be some training. So just knowing what it is and how it works is sufficient. So this job pays at most 110. I think it's a little bit of a low ball for what they're asking for. But there's so many more people on the job market than there are jobs, so they can afford to get away with this. But I would definitely be asking for the higher end of the scale because they're asking for a lot. They want a little bit more management and leadership. Here's one that says compliance business analyst. This one is in Florida. Also has over 100 applicants. So they say here they want to document data points necessary to execute the compliance test and prepare deliverables for data mapping sessions with external stakeholders. They want to drive data mapping sessions with management and consumer stakeholders. They want to drive validation sessions with management and consumer stakeholders. They want to research questions raised in validation sessions and create procedure and documentation of processes. So this is a very heavy on testing as a BA. Sounds more like a QA kind of stuff. There's a lot of data, a lot of testing and validation, and then documentation. So not a pure BA job, and this is on site in Jacksonville. They're only asking for 3+ years of experience. What are they paying people for this? They haven't said. They better be giving you a six-figure pay. Why would you put a job that doesn't have the pay? Like, why should we be bothered with you? This is what annoys me about jobs. You want to tell me all these wonderful things that you want me to do with all many years of experience, and you can't tell me how much you want to pay me? Why is that a big secret now? Why? So that's the thing. You have to apply here and find out if it's worth your time. I would say definitely nothing less than 120. They want to pay you for less than 120 with all this data analysis and all this this data testing that you're doing. I'm not saying to be greedy, but that's really what it's minimum worth, right? So there's so much low balling going on. It's crazy. Okay, here's one that says junior business analyst, which is rare. It's very rare to find a junior business analyst job because there's so many uh business analyst jobs that are requiring you to be like middle managers. So they don't often allow you to be like a junior. So this is great that we found one here. It's been here over 3 weeks. Over 100 applicants. Let's see what they say here. Manage and maintain Salesforce Sales Cloud. Ensure data accuracy and integrity within Salesforce. Support internal teams by creating custom reports. Oversee lead ingestion of from webinars, events, and websites. Configure Salesforce to streamline workflows. Provide ongoing support. Identify gaps between business needs. Conduct research and manage vendor selection. Okay, so it's not a real business analyst job. They really just want a Salesforce admin that can also elicit requirements. They're going to ask you to do some data entry stuff to make sure the data in their Salesforce is matching, it has integrity. It's not like you have missing fields or empty fields and stuff like that. So it's a little bit of an admin for Salesforce. So they call it junior business analyst, but it's really a Salesforce admin. So I mean, you can apply and do this job if you're just out of college and you just want to get your feet wet. That's okay. And if they give you the title of business analyst, that's fine. You can use that in the future. But the truth is, you're really just going to be a Salesforce admin, and you're not doing much elicitation. You're not going to learn that much about the BA role. You're just going to be kind of grounded into Salesforce. Um, so, but it's a start. This is a start. They don't put how much they pay here, but I'd expect this job to be maybe like 65, 75,000. I hope that's what it is. All right. And yeah, this is in San Francisco. So that's good. So that's not a bad one. It's a good one for a person just leaving college. Okay, last one. Business analyst, $58 an hour. Okay, let's see what they have here. Gather requirements from business units and translate those to programmers and developers. Prepare cost benefit and return on investment analysis. Confer with clients regarding the nature of the information processing. Coordinate and link the computer system within an organization to increase compatibility. Okay, so this is yeah, it is a business analyst job, but they're very vague with what they're saying. Just gather requirements, right, from business units. Like what exactly are we talking about here? Prepare cost benefit and return on investment analysis. So you're going into accounting and costing and that. So a little bit outside of the scope of what we normally do. Confer with clients regarding the nature of the information processing or computational needs. That's a very convoluted, vague statement. Not sure what they're asking you to do there. Coordinate and link the computer systems within an organization to increase compatibility and so information can be shared. Oh my God. The people writing this, they have no clue what the job is. And so that's a clue also to you that they didn't spend any time to flesh out this job. But they put it on LinkedIn and they paid to have it up there. So it's like, oh, 58 an hour, yeah, you're into six figures. But they're very vague, so you don't really know what they're gonna come with in the interview because you don't really they didn't spend any time fleshing out exactly what this job is. So sometimes a red flag, but I would still apply and see what they say. Okay, so that's what we have. We have a few here which I'm not gonna get into. This one is 120. This one is at 95. Product business analyst. Here's this other one. This one doesn't have the salary on there. Okay, let's see. But yeah, as you can see, there's quite a number of jobs on here that are paying pretty good. This one has $61 an hour, which is well into six figures. And again, this numbers might be lower than what it really is in the real world. This one is 110K per year at the top range. So there's quite a number of jobs that are in six figures. This one is $50 an hour. This one's $100, 100K per year rather. Um, 83K per year, 120 per year, 60 an hour, which is also that 90K per year. Here's one here in Atlanta, doesn't have the salary. So yeah, we have quite a bit of jobs well into six figures. As you can see, the same things I've been mentioning in this video, right? That you really just need to focus on the core business analyst skills. And once you're able to deliver that with confidence, you understand what you're talking about, you can land one of these jobs and they're all paying very high salaries. All right. I am rooting for you. I'm rooting for you. I'm here to help you. I have all the resources to help you. So I have all the confidence that you can land one of these jobs. And hopefully you'll start a very fulfilling career as a business analyst. Now this video has been way too long, longer than I thought it would be. I'm gonna let you go right now, but I'm gonna give you some encouragement that you can land a job like this. Okay. You can be making this kind of money and you have all the resources at your fingertips. Much easier than a lot of us had when we started. So there's no excuse. Let's get going. Let's get this job. And I will see you in the next video.